If you just finished watching The Rip on Netflix, you're probably wondering if Matt Damon and Ben Affleck really did what we think they did. Most viewers missed a massive clue at exactly 1 hour and 12 minutes, and that changes the entire meaning of the ending. Today, we're breaking down the shocking phone book swap, the real identity of the traitor, and the tragic true story of the Miami River cops that inspired this whole heist. Stay until the end, because I'm going to show you why the good guys were actually more dangerous than the cartel. This is the ending of The Rip Explained. The movie starts with a tactical narcotics team in Miami, hitting a suburban stash house. We have LT, Dane Doomer's Matt Damon, and SGT, JD Ben Affleck. They find $24 million. Now, in police slang, a rip is when cops seize cash or drugs but haven't logged it yet. It's that gray zone where greed takes over. What makes this movie so intense is the claustrophobia. Most of the action happens inside one house. Director Joe Carnahan uses this to show the team fracturing. You see Steven Yeun's character, Micro, and Teyana Taylor's bodies starting to look at each other differently. This isn't just a movie about a heist. It's a psychological study on what $24 million does to the human soul. But while you were watching the team fight, did you notice the grandmother Desi's hoard of old phone books in the background? That was the most important setup in the film. Let's talk about the mole. Throughout the movie, everyone suspects Micro because he's the new guy. But Dane is a veteran. He uses a genius tactic to find the snitch. He mentions a specific number to the team, $150,000. He tells them that's the maximum they can sip from the pile without being caught. Later, when the cartel calls the house and demands exactly $150,000, the trap is sprung. Only one person could have leaked that specific amount. This is where the movie shifts. Dane realizes he isn't just fighting the cartel. He's fighting a shadow team of corrupt agents, led by Kyle Chandler's character, Matty Nix. The level of betrayal here is insane, but it pales in comparison to what Matt Damon's character does next. The climax is a bloodbath between the FBI, the heist team, and the narcotics squad. But the biggest question is, where did the money go? When the bags are finally opened at the end, they are filled with phone books and newspapers. Most people think JD and Dane stole it for themselves, but they didn't. By swapping the cash for phone books hoarded by the homeowner, Desi, they were able to sneak the real $24 million out and turn it into the D properly. Why? Because under Florida law, a cooperating witness like Desi can receive a 20% legal finder's fee. By doing this, Dane ensures the girl stays safe. The money is clean, and the corrupt cops get nothing. It's a clean rip. They chose brotherhood and legacy over quick cash. But here is the part that will give you chills. The Rip is dedicated to Jake William Casiano. The movie is based on the real-life 2016 raid led by Captain Chris Casiano in Miami, where they found $24 million hidden in Home Depot buckets behind a false wall. Joe Carnahan was friends with Chris and heard the story while filming Bad Boys for Life. But in 2021, Chris's 11-year-old son, Jake, passed away from leukemia. Carnahan reworked the script to give Matt Damon's character that same grief. The scene on the beach at the end where they watch the sunrise, that is a direct tribute to Jake. It's the moment the film stops being a thriller and becomes a story about what we leave behind. But let's look closer at how Joe Carnahan filmed this, because the cinematography tells a story the dialogue doesn't. Have you noticed how the lighting changes as the night goes on? At the start of the raid, the house is flooded with cold blue light symbolizing the cool-headed professionalism of the cops. But the moment the false wall is broken and the $24 million is revealed, the lighting shifts to a sickly, warm orange and red. This isn't an accident. It's a visual representation of the rip taking hold. In film theory, red often symbolizes blood or danger, but here, it represents the heat of greed. Look at the shots of Teyana Taylor's character, Bautista. She's often framed through doorways and glass, making her look isolated from the rest of the team. This was a massive clue that the unit was already broken before the cartel even arrived. And then there's the sound design. If you listen closely during the scene where they are deciding what to do with the cash, there's a low-frequency hum that gets louder every time someone mentions keeping a portion. It creates a physical feeling of anxiety in the audience. It makes us feel as complicit as the cops on screen. Most 10-minute reviews will skip this, but these technical details are why The Rip feels so much more grounded than your average Netflix action flick. It's not just about the money, it's about the pressure cooker of the human mind. We also have to talk about the meta layer of this movie. This is the first time we've seen Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in a gritty, high-stakes thriller like this since, well, arguably ever. Their chemistry is the secret sauce that makes the 7-minute mark of this movie feel so earned. Now, for the fans of my channel who came here because of our Dexter breakdowns, you probably noticed something familiar. Joe Carnahan didn't just set this in Miami. He used the same tropical noir aesthetic that made the early seasons of Dexter so iconic. But there's a deeper Easter egg at the 42-minute mark. When the team is searching the kitchen, did you see the brand of the hot sauce on the counter? It's Morgan's Heat. That's a direct nod to Michael C. Hall's character. And even more interesting, the stash house they raid is actually located on the same street used for the Seltzer house in Dexter Season 1. This isn't just fan service. It's Carnahan telling us that in this city, the line between the law and the monster is razor thin. It's a subtle hint that Matt Damon's character, Dane, is battling the same dark passenger, the urge to take what he wants and justify it later. What truly separates The Rip from every other Netflix heist movie is the heartbeat behind it. The film is dedicated to Jake William Casiano. This isn't a fictional tribute. Jake was the 11-year-old son of Christopher Casiano, a real-life Miami-Dade tactical narcotics captain. In 2016, Chris led a real raid where his team found $24 million hidden in Home Depot buckets behind a false wall. When Joe Carnahan heard this story, he was blown away. But when Chris lost his son Jake to leukemia in 2021, the story changed. It was the largest cash seizure in Miami history. Don't forget to subscribe for our upcoming Lethal Moments breakdown of Beast Games S2. I'm Hidden Details TV, and thanks for watching.